My brothers and sisters, welcome to episode number 88 in Deuteronomy. Today we're going to talk about four superpowers that the Lord gives us in Deuteronomy. They are work, intercession, obedience, and reachability. We'll talk about each in order here. First of all, work. So in Deuteronomy, we learn that we have the superpower of work. 8:18 says, "You shall remember the Lord your God, for it is he who gives you the power to get wealth," which is in work. So he's giving you a superpower, a godly power. He gave it to Adam before the fall. Uh, and it's to be productive and useful. And now we see that work is corrupted by the curse, and perhaps it's our attitude that's corrupted, not the work itself. But the Lord gives abilities and powers. And we need to say, I have a superpower, which is the ability to work. I have a superpower, which is my ability to get wealth. I have a superpower, which I can turn a pile of resources into a bigger pile of resources. So God is not separate from my work and spiritual life. The Lord is in work and always has been in work. Now, there's a caution, and you don't want to love money more than God. It's not that money is evil, it's the love of money that's evil. So it certainly can become an idol. And it can demonstrate a result that results in, or a root that results in all kinds of evil. So longing for money results in consequences that go beyond money. So just before this gift of the ability to work, he says, "Beware lest you say in your heart, by my power and my might of hand have gotten me this wealth." So yes, Deuteronomy goes all the way down to your wallet. Nothing's changed with that in 3,500 years. We have to uh, work hard and be careful not to make it an idol and not to misprioritize it. So the first superpower the Lord gives us is the ability to work and obtain the resources from that. The second one is intercession. Now, intercession is kind of a miracle. It's to ask for another when they cannot ask, or to act for another when they cannot act, and remember for another when they have forgotten. So when they perhaps have lost their standing before God, a person who has not lost his standing stands before God on that other person's behalf. Now, Moses does it throughout the book of Deuteronomy and other books, and kind of stands in the gap for these people. So intercession is primarily done for knuckleheads. Maybe even exclusively knuckleheads. For if they weren't a knucklehead, they wouldn't need interceding for. So miracle number one is that God listens to us. The second miracle is that God listens to us on behalf of another. So find someone to stand in the gap for today, someone who's not acting right, not asking right, not remembering right, and then do for them what they cannot do or will not do. So the second superpower the Lord gives us is intercession. The next uh, superpower he gives us is one of obedience. And a good spiritual question to ask from this book of the Bible or any is, what does the Lord require of you? Now, here's the big point. Aren't we supposed to, we aren't supposed to stay where we are. We aren't supposed to stay as a knucklehead. So what do I need to be in a good ongoing relationship with the Lord? So a good spiritual principle is to be moving on. Now, in doing so, the Lord is going to require certain things out of you. So you may have some spiritual friends who haven't moved very far. Why? Well, they disobey or discard, or maybe perhaps most importantly, devalue what his God has already told them. So a primary requirement of the Lord is to do what he's already told you to do. Why would God give you something else further down the road of intimacy or truth when you haven't honored and obeyed the things he's already told you in the past? And wouldn't that be like God throwing, pearls to the swine? Wouldn't he have you treasure what he has already called you to before he gives you another treasure for you to ignore? So the point here in obedience is we have agency, we have ability, and then there's kind of the subtopic, which is this fourth one. It's not too far out of reach. So the fourth thing I want to say today is that we have the superpower of reachability. So all the commands of God that he has for you today are reachable. They're within arm's reach. They're near enough to do. They're near enough that you can know them. They're doable. They're achievable. They're attainable with his help. So the last encouragement is that the word is near so that you can do it, so you can achieve the things that it says. One of my favorite passages, Deuteronomy 30:11, for this commandment that I command you today is not too hard for you, neither is it far off. It's not in heaven that you should say, who will ascend to heaven and bring it to us? Neither is it beyond the sea that you should say, who will go over the sea and bring it to us? But the word is very near you. It's in your mouth and in your heart so that you can do it. So the Lord commands us this reachability. He commands this thing within stuff that's within our ability to do today. He commands it so that we can do it. It's not understandable. It's not too hard. It's not far off in heaven. It's not far across the ocean. What the Lord has for us today is within arm's reach, knowable, doable, not far, achievable. So all the commands he has for us today are within arm's reach. So the commands aren't secret. They're all over the book of Deuteronomy, and they're also all over our heart. They're in our mouth, in our heart, and it's not too hard. So what does the Lord have for me today? Is it secret, unknowable, and far off? No, it's not unknowable. It's not too difficult. It's not out of reach. It's not that complicated. It's near, it's doable, it's understandable, and it's here. And why? So that you can do it. So the four superpowers that we talked about today. First of all, he gives us the superpower of work. Secondly, he gives us the superpower of intercession. Thirdly, he gives us the superpower of obedience. And finally, he gives us the superpower of reachability. Thanks for listening.